Welcome back, everyone, to the second session of the day. It brings us to one of the most pressing topics in global insurance, how to build resilience in an era where risks are increasingly interconnected, from climate change and geopolitical tension to shifting economic forces. Moderating this critical discussion is Mr. Gamal Sakr, the Regional Director for Northeast Africa and Middle East and Africa Reinsurance Corporation, Africa Re, the main sponsor of Sharm Rendezvous. Welcome him on stage. And he's joined by a panel of esteemed speakers, Dr. Salam Moussa, the Vice President of OPES Software. I do wish you a fruitful discussion.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly happy to be here with you today, and I would like to start by thanking our moderator and my fellow panelists. Of course, the Insurance Federation of Egypt, especially Mr. Ala al-Zuhairi, the organizers of this event, of this great event. These guys are really professional. Thank you so much for your efforts, and thank you for having me. From compliance to resilience. When we talk about resilience, we often talk about systems, frameworks, and controls. But the reality is the true resilience of any organization around the world it comes from its people and its culture. So let me talk about true resilience and look at it from a slightly different perspective. In just 5 years, the insurance industry has changed more than in the previous 5 decades. The corona pandemic from 20 to 22 that reshaped the customer expectations and the operating models. Climate shock from 23 to 24, and in 2025, and currently, the insurers now face pressure to remain compliant, agile, and trusted. So every crisis leaves 2 traces, one in our system and another one in our culture. The system usually recovers with time, but the culture trace determines whether we emerge stronger or weaker. Insurance today faces not only one storm, but there are 3 storms converging. Okay, let's start with the first storm, the climate. According to Swiss Re, in its 2024 report, insured climate losses now exceeded $100 billion annually, with homeowners' premiums rising 8.7% faster than inflation between 2018 and 2022. Geopolitical conflicts, sanctions, and disrupted supply chain continues to reshape global reinsurance exposure and test cross-border compliance. Economic. As highlighted by the U.S. Treasury in its 2025 report, inflation and rising claims are squeezing margins and pushing solvency ratios to historic lows. So what is the result of all of that? The result is the perfect storm, where leadership, culture, and compliance must work together to keep insurers not only solvent, but credible and trusted. Compliance is the foundation of resilience, but it is not the first line of defense and not the final goal, of course. According to GlobalScape, the average cost of non-compliance, and this is very true, is 3 times higher than the investment needed to build a strong compliance program. In 2023 alone, global regulatory fines in the insurance sector reached $9.6 billion. So the compliance is not enough. It's only the start of resilience. 73% of insurers that recovers quickly from crisis credit their success to leadership and alignment and a culture of accountability, according to PwC 2024 report. So systems alone is not enough, compliance alone is not enough. It multiplies through leadership vision and the organizational culture. So let's see the human equation of resilience. Every insurer has to stand on 3 main pillars. Compliance, which is the foundation of trust and credibility, because it ensures transparency, accountability, and alignment with the regulator. Leadership, let's see it at the compass that provides direction when uncertainty strikes. Culture, which is the force that sustains value, adaptability, and collaboration across every level. Insurers with strong leadership culture are 2.4 times more likely to maintain operational continuity during crisis, according to Deloitte report. How to move from awareness to action in building resilience today. Resilience is not slogan. It's a decision. It's a discipline. The most advanced insurers are turning awareness into measurable action through 3 priorities. First, compliance integration into companies' culture. Develop leadership competencies and measure resilience key performance indicators. According to Harvard Business Review, organizations that actively measure and reward resilience achieve 30% faster recovery after disruption. So when culture fails, all systems collapse. Even the most advanced systems can fail. A leading global reinsurance brokers, and I think you all know about this case, in 2022 reported a cyber incident despite having what appeared to be flawless procedures. Investigations found the critical failure wasn't a missing control, it was the human reaction. Employees froze or lacked clarity under pressure. According to 2022 AGCS survey, insurers say the weakest link in cyber resilience still a human and cultural factor and not systems and technology. So compliance manuals is important, but it cannot lead during chaos. But guess who can do that? Of course, your people. So how insurers can embed resilience today? First, lead from the middle. Empower your managers to act as communicators and early warning sensors. Simulate disruptions. Treat drills as leadership and culture exercises, not audits. Reward resilience include adaptability, collaboration, and ethical decision-making KPIs. Organizations that integrate behavioral and leadership metrics into performance reviews are twice as likely to recover quickly after crisis. So what is the resilience cycle? Prepare, adapt, and evolve. Strengthen compliance framework, and align leadership and shared priority. Empower your team through transparent communication and swift decision-making. Capture every lesson learned and embed it into culture, system, and strategy. Organizations that practice continuous learning and reflection are 3 times more resilient to future crises, according to Harvard Business Review 2024. Last, compliance keeps you safe, leadership makes you strong, and culture makes you last. Every insurer can buy technology, draft procedures. Only those who invest in their people build institutions that endure. According to Baker McKenzie, companies that empower employees to act decisively in uncertainty recover operations 2.5 times faster after major disruption. So the risk is always around us all the time and everywhere. The true resilience comes from our people, guided by leadership, inspired by culture, and protected by compliance. So resilience mainly is not a system, and it's not a document. It's a decision we have to make and review every single day. Thank you.